Okay, so today we are working on congruence in corresponding parts of triangles. Congruent figures have the same side lengths and angles. So another way I can say that is corresponding parts are congruent. So this wants me to identify all of the corresponding parts. I have my corresponding angles, and then I have my corresponding sides. So if I notice, angle J has two angle marks. I want to look on the other triangle for the angle that also has two angle marks. That is going to be angle T. Angle K has the three angle marks, so that's going to match up to the angle with three marks on the other triangle, which is angle S. And then angle L has one of the angle marks, so that matches up to angle R. For my corresponding sides, I have JK. This has one tick mark. That's going to match up to TS. And I want to go from the double angle to the triple angle. So that's T to S. Then I have JL, which is going from the double angle to the single angle. And it has the three lines, so the double angle to the single angle is right there. It is TR. And my final one is KL, so this is going from triple to single. Right there is SR. So when all parts of two triangles are congruent, you can show that the triangles are congruent. Write a congruence statement for the triangles. So I'm going to name these in order of the tick marks. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go triangle LJK is congruent to triangle RTS. Because I also want 1, 2, 3 on the second triangle. Okay, number 2 is the same idea. I want to identify all pairs of congruent parts and then write a congruent statement for the triangle. So I'm going to start off with my angles. I'm going to start with angle P because that has the one tick mark. Looking at my other triangle, the other angle with one tick mark is angle Z. So angle P is congruent to angle Z. Then I want to look for the double angle mark, which is at M and Y. So angle M is congruent to angle Y. Make sure you guys are taking notes. And then I have my three tick marks is N and X. Then I want to go ahead and match up my sides. So I have the sign with one tick mark is going from M to N, is going to match up to Y to X. And I'm going to do the same with my side with two tick marks. That is going from 1 to 3, so P to N. And that is congruent to Z to X. Okay, so then I want to do the same thing with my triple mark. I'm going from P to M and then Z to Y. Z to Y. As long as they match the original order. Yeah. Okay. So in number 3, it says in the diagram DEF, G is congruent to Q, M, and P. I want to find the value of X and then find the value of Y. So because the letters are listed in this order, that means angle D is going to be congruent to angle Q. And then angle E is going to be congruent to angle M. Angle F is congruent to angle N. And then angle G is congruent to angle P. So it wants me to find the values of X and Y. I can't solve for X right away because it has X and Y together, or Y right away, I mean, because it has X and Y together. But I can solve for X. These are matching sides. So this side from Q to M is going to match the one that goes from one angle to two angles, which right here is D to E. I want to set the 8 equal to the X minus 2. And then I add 2 to both sides. I get X equals 10. And then the part with the Y is the 4 angle, so that's going to match up to the 4 angle here. So I have 84 equals 3x minus 2y. And that's just coming from me setting those two angles equal to each other. Then I actually know what x is from part A, so I'm going to plug in 10. So 3 times 10 gives us 30. Then I want to go ahead and subtract 30 on both sides. I get 54 equals 2y. Negative 2y, my bad. And then I want to go ahead and divide both sides by negative 2. I get y equals negative 27. Okay, so remember, triangles are named by their sides and angles. I have scalene, which is no equal sides. Then I have isosceles, which is 2 equal sides. And equilateral, which is 3 equal sides. Then I can also classify it by angles. Remember, acute is all angles are less than 90 degrees. Then I have right, which has one 90-degree angle. And then I have obtuse, which is one angle larger than 90 degrees. Bless you. Okay, so this picture is kind of hard to see, but angle A is congruent to angle B, and this part on the bottom is going to be congruent to this part on the bottom with D. Okay, so I'm going to write in what I know, because if these two angles are congruent, that means that angle B is 45. And on the bottom, that means that this one is also going to be 30. Okay. So this wants me to find the measure of angle BDC, which is this entire angle in the corner. So I'm going to highlight the triangle I'm looking at just so I can see it a little bit clearer. I want to know this entire angle right there. I know this corner is 30 and I know this corner is 45. So I can use the fact that an entire triangle adds up to 180 degrees. Oops, I wanted minus. So I want to subtract the 30 and subtract the 45. So it's 105 degrees. And this one gets the degree symbol because it had the M in front of the angle. If it's just asking for a letter, we typically don't write the degree symbol. Okay, on number 6, it tells me triangle HJI and triangle MLK are congruent. So that means H is congruent to M, J is congruent to L, and I is congruent to K. Wants me to solve for x and y. I can solve for x. I have that x is on this angle with the double angle, so that's going to match up to the 91. I have 91 equals 3x minus 1. So I'm going to go ahead and add 1 to both sides. I get 92 equals 3x. Divide both sides by 3. Does 3 divide 92 nicely? No. So I'm going to go ahead and leave this as a fraction. Then for my y, it's in between the 2 angle and the 3 angle. So on this triangle, I want to look between the 2 angle and the 3 angle. That is 10. So this one's just y equals 10. On this next one, I want to solve for x. What I can do is I know that these 2 angles are congruent to these 2 angles, so I can fill those in. So s is 65 and r is 55. Now that I have 3 angles in my triangle, I can add them all up together and set it equal to 180. What do I get when I combine all of my numbers together? So 55 plus 65 plus 30? 150. And then I want to go ahead and subtract 150 on both sides. So I get 30 equals 2x. And then divide both sides by 2. X equals